morning. Good morning. Good morning, dear friends. How are you today? How are you this morning? Saturday morning here. And it's 5 minutes to 7. I just came in early just to have time to greet people. Hello, Clark. Hi, how are you? Julie, hello. Stephen, Brother Stephen, you're welcome. Timothy, good morning. Hello, Bruce. Christopher, you're welcome. Thank you all for joining me, my brothers. And Julie, Ahana, how are you? Where are you calling from? Sammy has joined us. Brother Ellison, I'm from Thailand. Wow. You're welcome. Good morning. Oh, Lisa, I should be in bed now. It's been a long day for you. Thank you for joining us. How are you today? Stephen, you're welcome. Hi, Lisa love. How are you? Stephen, Dubai. You're not working today? You're welcome, everyone. Brother David, how are you? Thank you for sharing my posts. Thank you so much. Yeah, it would be nice for people to come to, type where they are from so that I can be familiar. So Bruce is from Kampala. Lisa is from Ohio, USA. Isaac, you're welcome. So those who are new, I'm Esther and I'm live from UK. Originally, I'm from Uganda. So, Brother Joseph, oh, we sent you a message, you didn't respond. Thank you for joining us though. Thank you. Sister Evelyn, how are you? Thanks for joining us. Brother George, you're welcome. David is doing very well. Bless you. So, thank you. Denise Elise, you're welcome. Stephen Sekamate, thank you for joining us. So I'm seeing lots of people from Uganda, Kampala, South Africa, Thailand, Ohio. David is from Benin Republic. Wow. It's nice to know. So how are you, lovely people? How are you, my brethren? How was your week? Was it fruitful? Did you achieve your goals? And what are your plans for the weekend? So it's nice to see all of you here. So today we are back, overcoming stigmatization, and we are going to look at an interesting topic. So, and before we do that, for those who are new, let me just recap what we did last week. So last week we looked at righting the wrongs. Okay, righting the wrongs part 3, where we talked about that egocentric love must be replaced with it's 7. Egocentric love must be replaced with the universal love. We discover that if we are to make our world, our communities, our families a better place, we need not only to love the people who are close to us. I'm back again. I'm sorry about that. It's my network here. Can you see me now? I think it's okay. Juma, habari, you're welcome. Habari is a Swahili word we use as a greeting in East Africa. So, muzuri sana, I think that's how they respond. I've forgotten my Swahili, it's a long time, so we need to practice it. Brother Harold, thank you. You're saying you're good and trying. Well, keep up the spirit. So as I was saying that last week, we were discussing the topic, egocentric love must be replaced by universal love. So we talked about the principles that allow us to extend love to other people, even strangers, and not only to love our people. For example, if you find a lady struggling on the way and they're going the same direction, offer a hand of help. Especially if you're a man and you're strong, those muscles are for a reason. So you help ladies with heavy loads when they're coming down steps or getting into a car. You open the door for them, offer a hand of support. Just simple kinds of simple acts of kindness. And that's how people earn the title of a gentleman. So that's all about love, universal love. And so following on from that topic, we come to yet another topic, righting the wrongs, part 4, which is closed-mindedness towards cross-cultural marriages. So this is also one factor that hinders us from walking in universal love. Why? Just because we think our cultures are superior to other people's cultures. And yet God is calling us to a love that accepts and is open to other people, other people's opinions, other people's way of life, just to learn to live with other people. So I brought this topic up just because I know that it's a form of stigma to single people. Single people are told, don't marry someone who's not from your culture, and you're stigmatized. So even if someone who's from a different culture approaches you, you are not ready to embrace the relationship just because of what you've heard, what you've been told. So we want to discuss this, and I'll be so glad to read your comments and your views. Please don't take only my views here. We are here to share. So please type your views and let us know what you think. Okay, so let me start. So a simple definition of closed-mindedness is the unwillingness to consider other people's opinions, other people's way of life, other people's ideas. Simply that is it. Queen Jane! How are you today? You're welcome. So thank you everyone. Thank you for joining us. So this topic is so dear to me, because I once had that same closed-mindedness towards other, other cultures. Let me share with you my story. I'm Ugandan, so when I came to the UK to study, I settled down in a certain town. So in that town, of course, there are no other Ugandans. All right, so you look around to get people who look like you, who are from your same background, so that you are comfortable, so that you can settle down. Yeah, it's normal anyway from any new foreigner in a country. So I noticed that most of the churches were Nigerian in that city. So I just said, okay, let me join these Nigerian churches, and let me fellowship with my brethren. So I joined, and at first, of course, you feel so uncomfortable. First of all, most of these churches, what happens is that if the pastor is from a certain tribe or culture, that's the culture that is promoted in that church. And sometimes even the songs of praise and worship they raise are in the local language. See, Grace, my sister, that's my baby sister. I don't know if she's supposed to be sleeping. Anyway, thanks for joining, Grace. You're welcome. I want your contribution because you are in this kind of marriage. All right, and myself. So let's share with people about our experience. Okay, so what happened is that at first I said, can I really fit into this congregation? Can I really fit in? And first of all, even if you don't know the songs and different tribes, you are left out. And then, of course, I noticed that people who could not handle this walked out of such churches. But you know what? I started looking at the good side of things. Hello, Sister June. Good morning. That's my sister who knows most of my stories, so she can testify. Okay. So What happened is that, you know, after some time, I embraced the culture. I could see the people are nice and friendly. I could see the good side of things. And I decided to open up, you know, and adapt. So I learned, you know, Nigerian songs. I even led them, okay? And, you know, I started being comfortable around other people from different cultures. In fact, most of my friends are not from Uganda. I'm sorry to disappoint Ugandans here, but most of my friends are from different countries, and that's because I outgrew my closed-mindedness, you know, about you know, different cultures. Okay, Stephen here is saying cross-cultural marriage is a way to go, and this negates differences between cultures and honesty. Honestly, education is doing that. The idea of stopping for cross-cultural marriage is a traditional norm that tries to promote. Okay, yeah, Stephen is trying to give a very good point there, you know. So yeah, cross-cultural marriages really promote tolerance between us, amongst us. Okay, so so in that church, you know, that's how it was. Okay, but the lesson I can put out here, especially for church leaders, is that, you know, when you start a church, it's always good to know your environment, adapt your environment. Don't only have people from your own country, you know. That's why you're a different culture for a purpose. We're going to learn how God is an open-minded God. Okay, and we're supposed to emulate him. Okay, so try to promote the kingdom culture and not one particular culture, because no culture is superior to another. So that will be a very good lesson for pastors out there. Okay, so and in those churches, actually, the African initiated churches that I was familiar with, that I attended, I also noticed that most of the single men in there would actually go back. Okay, this is in UK. They would go back to Africa in their countries, get brides, and then come back with them. Yet there are single people in the church, in the congregation, the fellowship. So one time I noticed this. I said, no, it's too much. I have to ask. So I approached one brother. I said, brother, tell me, why is it that most of the people I see here in your church, in this church, they go back home, get someone from their tribe or their country, get married and come? Why do they do that when there are so many single people around? And the brother told me, what, in our culture, that is what is advised, and our parents tell us that this can guarantee a successful marriage. Well, so all these single sisters stay there, especially if they are from another country. Okay, so, but based on what I know now, I know that really I cannot guarantee that success, okay? Because marriage is a combination of different factors, okay? Why do I say that? Because even siblings who are born in the same and raised in the same household, they can fall out with each other. We've seen different types of divorces, even people from the same tribe, same community are involved. So these are some of the signals that can really enlighten and tell us that, what? For a successful marriage, there are other factors that are responsible. So we're going to be discussing those, okay? All right. So, and even in Africa, if you look at the problems we've been having, for example, the past genocides, then the prevailing tribalism, nepotism, people favoring people from their own culture, Lisa is saying, I love learning culture and language. Oh, yes, Lisa, one day you should come to Uganda and I'll teach you Luganda. Okay, that's the easiest language to learn. So I was saying that the problems we have of nepotism, tribalism, genocide is all rooted in that problem of being a monoculture continent, especially in Africa. So it just, talks about us, that we are kind of people who are not really a loving people. That's a fact, and it's so sad. Yeah, it just shows that we are not taught love. We are not taught universal love. And we are not taught the dangers of monoculturalism. Okay, so that is a major problem in Africa, and we need to outgrow that mentality. We need to change. Okay, so I'm going to share some things. I want to, rush up so that we can discuss. I want to read people's comments about this topic because it's so dear. And if you are in a cross-cultural marriage, please, I want you to comment and let people know you. Let people ask you questions. You'll be helpful, really. You're a helpful resource in this topic. So thank you. I have some evidences here, especially for those who are Christians, those who are not just follow with us, okay? But those who are Christians, you're familiar with the Bible. And I'm going to give out some incidences to show you that God is really open-minded. The first example is in Genesis. Look at the creation. First of all, you can see that there are different types of species of fish that God created. Different species of trees, different species of animals, different species of one type of animal. Cats are different species, dogs are different species, monkeys are different species, trees, fruits and vegetables, all different species. So that tells us a character and a side of God. He loves diversity. So that alone should widen our hearts to embrace other cultures. Look at the story of the Tower of Babel in Genesis 11. When these people were speaking only one language, God saw them down there. And I said, you know what? First of all, these people, they are not fulfilling my mandate. I want the whole earth to be filled with people, to be filled with my knowledge, people knowing me, to the whole world to be filled with the glory, with my glory. And they're only concentrated in one place. So let me disperse them. So he brought down different languages and confused them. They started not understanding each other. And that's how they dispersed to all parts of the world. That's how we have different cultures right now. So that shows you that God is very open-minded. He loves diversity. So that should open up our hearts. Okay. Lisa is saying monoculturalism leads to prejudice. That's so true. All right. Another evidence in Numbers 12. 1 to 15. Moses, the deliverer of the Israelites in Egypt, had a wife who was from another race. Okay, he was from Midian. And when Moses' brother Aaron and sister Miriam tried to, criticize this interracial marriage, God punished them. Miriam had leprosy, and then, Moses had to pray for forgiveness, and it was healed. But that shows you a side of God. He's open-minded to different races. Another example, Matthew, Matthew chapter 1 talks about the genealogy, the lineage of Jesus. And in that lineage, you'll find the names Rahab, who was a prostitute, who's a Gentile. You'll also find Ruth. Both of them were foreigners. They were not Jews. Okay? So that shows you that, and yet God allowed them to be in the lineage of our Lord Jesus Christ. So that shows that God is very open-minded. All right? And also we look at Joseph. Joseph in the Bible, also in Genesis. So he went to Egypt, was deserted by his family, separated from his family. And because it was a new environment, of course, he had to marry someone from that environment, an Egyptian lady. That did not stop his destiny. He still fulfilled the purpose of God for his life. So interracial marriages, they don't stop your purpose for life. Okay? It's just a circumstance, where you find yourself. Be open-minded. And also another example is in Colossians 3. I mentioned this scripture before. Colossians 3:11. There is neither Greek nor Jew, circumcised nor uncircumcised, barbarian, Scythian, slave nor free, but Christ is all in all. So from God's perspective, we are all one in Christ. Okay, so those are just a few examples from the Bible, just to show you how open-minded God is. And I have a quote here. It's very interesting. Your assumptions are your windows on the world. Scrub them off every once in a while, or the light won't come in. I repeat, your assumptions are your windows on the world. Scrub them off every once in a while, or the light won't come in. Meaning that sometimes our mindsets, are like dirt on our windows. So if we don't clean them up, we may not receive light in the house. So sometimes it's always good to be flexible, to grow with society, because our society is growing, it's changing. So we have to also to change, all right, and open up to new things. So what can we do? What advantages are there? I just want to mention some advantages in cross-cultural marriages, so just to help us to open up, okay, to this kind of mindset. One, this is an opportunity for us to grow in the ability to compromise. You know, the couple will need to pick what is beneficial for their marriage and drop what isn't. This takes mental strength, emotional maturity, and love for your spouse. Two, this union exposes you to a variety of foods, cooking styles, ingredients. So you learn, you grow. Okay, Grace here is saying that I'm in a cross-cultural marriage and I think it's the best decision that I've ever made. Very true. I wasn't really looking for that. It just happened. Of course. You know, no one plans it. Okay, and I think God led me to the one He molded and created for me. Perfect. Thank you, Grace, for joining, for sharing that. So I know that God loves me so much that He sent me my one and only better half. We both learn from each other and are open-minded about everything. Perfect. Okay, and June is saying that the kingdom culture should be our foundation. Exactly. Kingdom culture, not earthly cultures. Thank you for sharing. And Grace is saying, true, compromise is the key. Yeah. Because sometimes we grow up saying, oh, the way my own way of doing things is the best way. What? I'm learning that now. Okay. Okay, another advantage is that you have a set, it's an opportunity for you to learn another language, if it applies to you. Then you have a set of integrated values that defines your family. For example, if both of you raise children in different styles, then you combine that, pick what is good for you. And then you have a unique set of values now that you're introducing in your own family. So your family becomes richer because you're integrating different values. And that is good. And also it forces you to maintain an attitude of open-mindedness. So when you learn about a different culture in a positive way, you'll stop thinking that your own culture is superior to others, which is growth. That is so true. Then your families and friends are introduced to the beauty of diversity. Yeah, so if it's not through your marriage, people see the beauty of diversity. People can know that, you know what, people can really get along. Okay? It doesn't matter. Sammy has said from the beginning, God's intention was to reach out to every soul regarding language, culture, and perspective. So we humans should be open-minded towards one another. That's so true. Okay, thank you so much, love. All right, then cross-cultural marriages, they promote racial tolerance. You know, when people are married together, then they accept one another. They respect each other. Okay? And then through your marriage, barriers are broken, mindsets are changed, and there's appreciation and respect for each other's culture. And then lastly, I say that through your marriage, people understand that we're just one human race. No matter where one man or woman is coming from, their background, we are just one race. Okay, it's the languages and the faces that are different, but the anatomy, the makeup is the same everywhere in the world. So that should open us up and also expand to us in another dimension of universal love. Okay, so once we embrace this kind of mindset, we see people as God sees them, and we don't discriminate them because of their culture. We don't label them. You know, just because one criminal is coming from one country, and then you cut off that whole country. That's not fair. Yeah, even you in your culture, there are criminals there. Criminals are everywhere. So let's not label nations, nationality, tribes just because of one error, one mistake of someone who needs to work on themselves. Yeah. So that's it. Okay. And then lastly, I was saying that, of course, there are challenges in cross-cultural marriages. For example, what one culture values as frankness and honesty, another one sees as rudeness. Okay. Then another challenge. In one culture, kneeling down is a sign of respect, yet in another culture, It's the attitude of the heart. Okay? So if you don't if you don't kneel down, they may think you're not respectful. So there's always a time to compromise, to merge, just because you want to, enrich and keep your relationship. Okay? Sam is writing a lot of things there. Okay, she's saying that's right. Our families, especially those who married from different cultures, get to know, understand, and realize that we are all just one race. That's perfect. Steven Muhumuza is saying cross-cultural marriage promotes respect for each other. Yeah, you respect each other because each of the couple has a different upbringing, and in the course of learning from each other, life is moving on perfect. Even the children, okay? So even the children have no bias on the other people's cultures as seen from their parents, and that's a good seed. Yeah. Children grow up so open, and that's how we can even detox all our background. Maybe our forefathers used to hate a certain tribe. We stop that. And then we start a new generation of people who love each other. Stephen is saying, all we have to know is that morals do not cut across. Do not cut across. Okay. Maybe he's still writing. Then John is saying, in Tanzania, I see how cross-cultural or tribal marriages help promote unity. That's so true. Okay, thank you. Brother Buffo, good morning. Good morning, sir. How are you? Okay, so I was just saying, giving you some challenges of cross-cultural marriage, because I'm not disputing that. There are challenges, okay? But the purpose of growth and development is that we all grow and become wiser through overcoming challenges. And that's what life is all about. There's no human being who doesn't face challenges. So we should embrace challenges as a gift, as an opportunity for us to grow. Another challenge, the food in one culture may be peppery, while in another culture they don't take food with pepper, spicy pepper. And we're experiencing that with Sammy right now. So, which is helping me. So now I'm learning to enjoy spicy food, peppery food, because that's what is common in Nigeria. And Sammy also, he eats our food in Uganda, which has no pepper, and he likes it. Okay, let him speak for himself. Maybe I'm not telling the truth, but it gives you variety to expand, to compromise, and to enjoy the diversity in our world. So please open up to cross-cultural marriages, especially single people who are stigmatized in this topic. And then another challenge, that one coming from a strong family-oriented culture finds it natural for the parents to make life decisions for him, while the individualistic culture sees that as parental interference. That's another challenge. But there's always a way to overcome it and work in synergy, okay? What works best for the marriage. Other cultures value punctuality, example in the West, while other cultures, like in Africa, most of Africa, they are easygoing. Sam is writing, I love matoke. That's so true. By the way, matoke is double O, matoke. I'm correcting. That's so true. My Sammy loves matoke now. So, just to conclude, that being open-minded helps us not to see our own cultures as superior to another, but to be flexible in our attitude and to communicate better. So this brings about growth, development in another dimension, universal love. So we cut across all those boundaries, we are all the same. All right? And so I'm speaking a word right now to the single sisters out there. I hope that what we are discussing now and what we continue to discuss will help you overcome those fears and stigma against cross-cultural marriages. When a brother approaches you and from another tribe, don't say no. Give them a benefit of a doubt, give them a chance, all right? And I'm not saying that, okay, I'm disputing marriages from the same tribe. No, they have lots of disadvantages as well. I'm just saying that whichever situation you find yourself in, when God opens those doors, don't resist what is coming to you. All right. All right. So as long as, first of all, marriage should only be for the real reasons. First of all, you have to have the right reasons why you're getting married. Okay? And also, you have to make sure the person is right. Okay? The only place in the Bible where we are advised to take caution is that we should not be unequally yoked with unbelievers. That's the only condition. And also have the same set of values that you can, a commonality, a common ground that you stand on. For example, your faith, your belief systems, your value systems have something in common. That really helps. So when you have those three right, you know, you can discard all the others. Everything is just work in progress. So you can have a successful marriage. So I hope that is helpful. For next week, you know, so far we've done like 11 broadcasts, different topics. For the next, although I have many other topics I want to talk about, but I want to dedicate next week to just discuss questions. I want people to write their questions, what they want to know, what they think about single people being stigmatized. What other topics do you want me to talk about? Because I may have a list, but when you have something that you want me to talk about urgently, so bring those on. So next week I want us to have questions. So if you have any questions, please put them down on your comments or send me messages and I will put them down and we shall prepare and discuss them next week. I hope that's fine. Is it? Do you agree? Or you have another view, another opinion, another idea? Medi, thank you for joining us. Moses Wakofo, you're welcome. So what do you think of this topic of cross-cultural marriages? They are challenging, but but as I've mentioned that without a challenge you can't grow, you can't become a better person. So it's through overcoming those challenges that you become wiser, you become more mature, and it's part of life. Even people marrying from the same tribe have challenges, so that's normal. We should open up. So if you are a single sister in there and you find yourself in China and you want to come back to Africa, if you're African, you want to come back to Africa to get married. Oh dear. What if you can't afford the ticket now? You remain single forever. Open up, okay? Be open-minded to cross-cultural marriages, and yeah. All right. So, any questions? Someone is writing. June is writing, I believe that one of the main reasons for marriage is to help each other. It's to help each other, yeah. Fulfill the purpose of your lives here on earth. So being a helpmate, that's so true. So other things, as you say, are secondary. That's so true. So most times I think we get the purpose of marriage wrong. Maybe it's to please your parents or to, expand your tribe, whatever reasons. But the main reason, as Juna said, is to be helpmates to each other, to help each other fulfill the purpose of God for your lives. That's so true. Moses Stephen, thank you so much. He's saying that for every culture, there's always a bad tag by another. So no culture is perfect. That's why we are saying that no culture is superior. So he goes on to say, and this is a strategy of concerning cultures by our senior parents. Yeah, that's true. Anyway, I get their concerns as well, that sometimes there is a tag that, people from that tribe, maybe they're hot-tempered. People from that tribe, they're womanizers. I understand. But just because a few people have a weakness doesn't mean that we label the whole tribe. There's some good people out there. So as I said, know the values of the person you're going into. Go into a relationship, of course, with a discerning spirit, not just to jump in just because we are saying cross-cultural marriages are okay. So it's all about considering so many things. The character of the person. As an individual, don't generalize from their background. Grace is saying, thank you, big sis. Nice broadcast. I have to go now. It's past midnight over here. All right. Thank you. Good night. Thanks for being with us and contributing. God bless. Sammy is saying, by marrying the other culture also needs caution. It isn't really about the culture, but about the personality and integrity. That's so true. So it's not about the culture, it's about the integrity and personality of that individual person. Okay? So we should just judge person by their individual credit, not from their background. All right. Okay, so thank you everyone. It's time to go. I'm looking forward to your questions for next broadcast. So let us ask questions about how to overcome stigmatization by single women, even men. So we can all answer those questions. And any suggestions of other topics you want me to cover. Okay, I would like to hear from you. So thank you for joining us. Have a lovely, lovely and refreshing weekend. All right, so see you next week. Bye.